Hey, this is Scott Spears, and I'd like to welcome you to yet another edition of The Exchange, and this is one of the hottest shows on television. If you go to YouTube and search Scott Spears, The Exchange, you are going to find that everybody is watching this program as of last week, and we are having fun bringing it to you each and every week. Matt Morgan, Kerrington Nelson, and a fourth person. Now, this week, the fourth person was not available, so we have an empty chair for continuity. There normally will be 4 people sitting here, but this week that fourth person could not make it. They will be back next week for an all-new episode. But we are having fun, and as you know, Matt and Kerrington can be heard every Friday night, 8:15 to 10 p.m. on this station, wwgh1071.com, or go to the free TuneIn app and search WGH Talk, and you can listen live every Friday night. And that is a hot show on Friday night. Hot as this show, Friday Night Live, each and every week. Both of these kids, as we call them here around the station, are involved in. 22 and 19. Only 19 for a few more weeks. I'm going to have to change that. Then it'll be the big 2-0. Be the big... well, nothing really happens when you're 20, but it'll be the big 2-0. Matt is also on with me every Friday morning from 10:15 to 11 a.m. And Pastor Craig, Sean Kraft, and Matt Morgan, Exchange Club on radio, 12:15 to 1 p.m. All right. Now that is all said... Matt, what's new with you this week?
Not much. Ruined one of my favorite hoodies.
Oh, what'd you do?
I was at work and I was dumping the, the produce trash, I can't even think of what it's called. The produce that we dump in the dumpsters for the people to come get I don't know what it's called, can't remember. But, I was dumping it and a whole bunch of, raspberry mush got all over my sleeve, and it's like an off-white color, so it's probably going to stain.
Never wear white to work.
It's probably going to stain my entire sleeve.
Never.
Carrington, what's new with you?
Well, me and Matt both went to the Ohio State game last week and watched the Buckeyes win. That's pretty fun. Other than that, just a lot of working. I've been trying to get into some of my hobbies again. I was painting the other day, so...
You're a painter?
Casually, yeah.
Like, what do you paint?
Canvases, with acrylic paint.
I mean, like apples, oranges, flowers.
Yeah, I would do any of those. I just right now I did a quote last time or something, I think. But yeah, whatever. A quote.
A quote.
Quote.
What was the quote?
It was something about validating your own emotions. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was you're allowed to be upset about things if they're a big deal to you, basically along those lines. I don't know. I saw it online. I thought it was cute, but
that's nice. That's kind of abstract.
Yeah.
I like abstract.
Yeah.
I used to paint abstract when I was in college. You saw some of my paintings.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're not bad.
Yeah, I'd like to see them.
Well, maybe. As time goes on, we'll see, how things go.
For sure.
All right. Now we've got some topics. Oh, by the way, we do want to let everybody know the Old Farmer's Almanac 2024 edition is on sale at fine stores everywhere. $9 for this puppy. $8.99 is what they say, but it's really $9 once you get the tax involved there. But they have always had a great relationship with us. The editor has came on every year with me. Ginger Vaughn is her name. And we will be giving away free copies of the Old Farmer's Almanac. Save yourself $9 if you listen to this program and other programs on this station. So that's another reason to listen to this station. Who else gives away copies of the 2024 free Old Farmer's Almanac? And this is good for a year. You can talk about the temperatures every day. You'll get recipes. You'll learn fun little tips. It's wonderful.
It's loaded with information.
You want one?
Sure.
$9.
How accurate are they?
Always pretty accurate. I forget what the accuracy rate, but I've asked her that every year. It's very high.
I think she might be lying.
Skeptic. All right, let's get into the current events this week, because that's what we do best on this program. Number 1, again, a little political, but yet it leads into a bigger discussion. Tim Scott is a Republican senator, I believe from South Carolina, who is running for president of the United States. Well, why are we talking about Tim Scott? He's certainly not one of the front runners. I'll tell you why we're talking about Tim Scott. He is not married, and the question has come up this week, would we ever elect a single person president of the United States? Now, Tim Scott does say he has a girlfriend, although we've never seen her and we don't know where she is. So there's a whole thing that she doesn't even exist. Now, I'm sure she'll pop up before this episode's released, but it's a whole thing. We've talked about, would we elect a fat person? Would we elect an African American? Would we elect a woman? Would we elect a single person? Does it matter? Is Tim Scott in trouble because he's got no wife? Well, he might have a girl, he just doesn't have a wife. Matt, what do you think?
I don't think that matters. I don't.
It does to people, though, because we're even talking about it.
I mean, you brought it up. I don't really care.
Well, I didn't bring it up. It's in the news. It's not just me. I wasn't thinking about Tim Scott earlier and said, Tim Scott, he's single. Let's talk about that tonight. No, it's all over the news.
I don't watch the news.
Right, but the point is that it is in the news, so on this show we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
So the question is, is this harder than
Yeah,
the
I
lesson
got it.
last week?
I'll go.
Ay.
I think they're probably just talking about it because it's out of the normal, like, well, woman being president, African American. It's just something we haven't seen before. But I think I agree with what you said, that it doesn't really matter. It's maybe honestly a good thing because, they don't have a significant other that they need to devote time and attention to. They can really focus in on, presidential stuff.
But it seems to be working against him.
That's interesting. Why? What are their reasons? Do you know?
Well, because there wouldn't be anybody to lead state dinners. There wouldn't be somebody to take up whatever cause that the First Lady has, like reading, literacy, cyberbullying. Michelle Obama did childhood obesity. There's always been somebody there with the president. If there's nobody there, or if he's just got an arm piece who might be changing, is that a problem?
I see what you're saying. That makes sense. I don't think it's a huge issue still. It sounds like most of those things are things that they wanted to pursue because they care about them. I know you said like the dinners, but I feel like they could get an event planner. It's the White House. They've got money for that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, but just as a society, though, would we elect them?
I would vote for somebody if I agreed with their opinions.
As long as they're single.
Yeah, if they're single.
But age matters. What if it's an old person?
Yes, if they're an old person, probably
What if they're
not.
an old single person?
Old single, you're out.
Old single, no dice. But young single, you might have a shot. Matt, what do you think? Would you vote for a single person? Would that matter to you at all? You said age really didn't matter.
No.
Does your relationship status?
I think we kind of brought this up when we were talking about Harding and his...
He was married, though.
Yeah.
He just had a couple arm pieces on the side.
Yeah, but it's the same concept of like...
What do they call that? Side pieces.
Side piece.
Side piece. Yeah,
Side chick.
Is it really
Yeah.
my place to care about his love life when I'm voting him into politics? He's just a politician. His love life has nothing to do with politics.
Yeah, but you know what? Some would say that if you can't make a relationship work, can you solve the country's problems? That would be a question.
If he's been doing it...
If we take
If
digs...
he was already a politician...
Yeah, but if we take digs at people for being heavy, if we take digs at people for being a woman, if we take digs at people for being a different ethnicity, you think we would... Their age... You think we're not going to take digs at people for being single? Of course we are.
Oh, yeah. And I see what they're saying, where it's like, oh, like, that's kind of different, I guess. We're just not used to it. But I feel like with today's society, like we talked about before, the marriage rates are decreasing. I feel like being single is just more normalized now.
Maybe, but... So I guess the end question is, would you vote for a single person?
Yes.
You would. Matt?
Yeah.
But that could be generational, because to be honest with you, I would vote for a single person, but I think there are a lot of people my age and older who would see that as a problem.
I could see that, yeah.
They would think, what is their problem? Why isn't their life together? And also, there might even be the question of homosexuality when Pete Buttigieg ran for president on the Democratic side in the primary. He was gay, openly gay, I believe first openly gay person ever to run for president. And that was a question. Would we elect a gay person? And most people said probably not.
Wow. That's surprising. It's like just because they want a relationship with somebody of the same gender, it's like they could still form a relationship.
But we love to know what's going on in people's houses. Mm-hmm. We want to know if they're single. We want to know if they got affairs going on. We want to know, apparently when you are a politician in this country, we got to know everything about you. Not just how you vote on bills. We got to know what you're doing at home in the sack.
In your personal life.
You got to put it all out there.
Yeah.
But you know what? I prescribe to the idea, if you're going to run for the highest office on the planet is the United States President of America. A president of the United States of America. If you're going to offer yourself up for a candidate of that power, well, you know what? If the media wants to investigate you, if your opponents want to investigate you, you've got to expect it at this point.
I agree. I feel like most celebrities have the same type of thing where it's like, if you're famous, it's not like you're just going to sing your songs and go home.
Right.
They've always got people in their business and Yeah, that's just how it is. It's part of the job, I think.
But we also want to know everything. Because now, do you have this is interesting. Matt and I have talked about this, but I don't believe we ever have talked about it, because I don't think you've ever been here during one of our Harding conversations. Is Harding a good president, even though he had affairs, well-known affairs, more than one affair, while he was married, and an affair in the White House, in the closet, that produced a love child? Is that a problem?
Yeah, I think that's kind of icky. You're just a bad character. It's a character flaw, you know? Like, that just seems dirty. It's like, oh, he would cheat on his own wife? Like, what about the rest of us? He doesn't know us as well as he knows his wife, you know? He'd cheat on America.
Now, Matt disagrees on this, I believe.
So, I mean, President Harding was a very popular president back in the day.
With the women, certainly.
Women's rights was a thing for him because his wife was big into women's rights. He organized he built a federal highway system. He organized the radio waves. He established the VA. He
was also the first president elected when women had the right to vote.
Correct. He did the journey of understanding. He went to places and talked to people, gave a whole bunch of speeches. Like, he was doing more work to get to know the people of the United States than I think any other president has.
Wow. Yeah, I guess I don't know that much about President Harding. I've only heard a lot of bad things, really, like the affair situation and that he hired a bunch of his friends. But I heard he hired a bunch of his friends, the Ohio gang, in the White House.
He didn't hire a bunch of his friends. They were just people that he trusted. So he hired them, and then it turned out that, I mean, the Harding impersonator said that when he found out the one dude was stealing money not stealing money, but selling things that was used in pocketing the money. He said that he had shoved him up against the wall by his throat, picked him up, and then called him a bastard, how dare you double cross me, and then fired him.
Is our bleeper working? Keep it. Okay, go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
What do you want to say now?
There's a lot there.
Let that word rip. Let it go. Don't hold back.
Yeah, I mean, he can do good things. I just think that, he shouldn't have done those things. Like, hiring your friends, I mean, even though you're saying it's just people he trusted, it's it creates a sticky situation then, in those situations, if they come to you as a friend or as, a coworker with issues or, things related to their job. I don't know. I just think that's a poor decision on his part, and obviously it just seems bad to have an affair. It's you don't seem as good of a person.
Let's take Harding out of the equation here. 20th and 21st century presidents. Harding had an affair. JFK had many affairs. Lyndon Johnson had affairs. Bill Clinton had affairs. Donald Trump has had affairs. We've had a lot of presidents who had affairs. Dwight Eisenhower had affairs. The majority of them had affairs. It's easier to find the ones who didn't have affairs in the 20th and 21st century.
That's so sad.
Well, the question remains, what should we say? Faithfulness make a good president? Apparently, because people would say Bill Clinton was a good president. People would say that JFK was a good president. But they had their women.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit unrelated.
Well, you said he was the hottest president, so how could they not throw themselves at him?
Yeah, for sure. But I feel like they're a little bit unrelated in the sense of, you can make a good choice for the country, but still not be a good person at the end of the day. Character issues, which is kind of how I think about it.
But does character matter when you're president of the United States, or is it your job?
Is being the president?
Well, how good a job you do versus what you're doing in your personal life.
I think that's just a person-to-person thing. I probably wouldn't want to vote for somebody as much if they had an affair, but I just don't think everybody cares as much.
So you wouldn't vote for somebody who had an affair if you knew it?
I might be less inclined. I think there's a ratio of, how much do I agree with their political opinions versus what the other person says.
I think it should be more of a if you like the policy, vote for that person, not if you like the person, vote for that person.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that if they had a lot of policies that I agreed with, I would still vote for them. I would just be less happy about it. It's there's only 2 options or 3 options. There's not very many. So.
There's several options right now, but
but whenever we get to vote, there's 2, 3 options. There's not very many.
Well, you can vote in a primary if you want.
Okay, well, I'm talking about the big one at the end.
Well, here's the thing. It's interesting that all these things we've talked about really are superficial things. They have nothing to do with the policy of the person. But yet, a lot of you, on different occasions, have said it does matter. Have they been faithful to their wife? It's been all men. Are they single? Are they heavy? Are they healthy? Are they young? Are they old? These really have nothing to do with the job. But yet we say it matters.
Yeah, I just think that that's part of like being in the public eye, where it's like, okay, you can do your job really well, but all of your outside decisions and actions are going to impact how people view you overall. So whenever you're in a public position, everything you do does matter.
You know why John Kennedy's wife became Jackie O, don't you? No. Because with all those affairs, she used to go, Jackie O. That's how it went. Just a little joke.
Wow.
Just a little. Well, they both went on to their reward. I don't think I'll get any letters at this point. But speaking of affairs, and we actually were, here's a segue for you. The Washington Post. I love this Washington Post advice column because I can't believe the Washington Post as a newspaper has an advice column, but they've got some great questions. A woman wrote into the Washington Post this week and wants to know, this woman wrote in, the husband's brother made a pass at her. Should she tell her husband? That's what it is. And apparently, the specifics of this are, the husband and the wife are not getting along so well, and the wife and the brother saw each other before the husband and wife got married. So she was in the kitchen cooking the meat, and he ran his hand on her back and started to go down her back. And that's what the pass was. So, should she tell her husband what his brother did?
What's the goal? Does she want to stay with her husband, or is it like she wants to leave him? I think that matters. Because it's like, if she wants to continue their marriage and stuff, like...
now, wait a second.
I think she should still tell him, but if she wants to leave him, like, there's no point telling him.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the opposite.
No.
So you're saying if she wants to leave, she should not tell him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she could, like, use it as ammunition if she wanted to, like, hurt him. But, like, if she just was going to leave him anyway, then, yeah, I mean, she could leave him and go after the brother if she wanted, or whatever.
But let's say she told him. Do you think the husband's going to stay? I think that'd be a chance for him to leave.
But it's the brother that did it. Like,
yeah, it's not. She didn't
do anything.
Yeah.
She's just
but the husband doesn't know that. I mean, I'm sure this wasn't videoed anywhere.
Well, I mean, like, if she were to bring it up to...
Is that a pass?
It sounds like it's not a good relationship if he doesn't believe her.
The entire situation that you described is whack in
Yeah,
general.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know that I would date somebody who my brother had formerly dated.
Yeah.
Well, not even date.
Oh, no, that happens a lot.
I don't know that I would get married to somebody that my brother had dated.
That happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Weird.
No, that is weird.
That's weird.
That's weird. No, what happens?
To date your sibling significant
I feel like I should say it because everybody said it like 10 times. That's weird. No, it happens a lot because the brother will bring the girl home. They've just started seeing each other, and the brother will like her and talk to the brother and say, "Do you really like that girl?" "No, I mean, I just met her at a party. Do you mind if I asked her?" "No, go ahead." And then it turns into a marriage.
I don't think that happens very much anymore. Maybe like back in the day or something it did. I don't know.
Yeah,
you're aging yourself right now.
Back in my day, we used to date people's arm pieces all the time.
Yeah.
Well, no, we didn't date siblings, but we dated the siblings' boyfriends. Why is that a bad thing?
It's just kind of strange.
It's just weird.
Why? What is weird about that?
Why are you meeting their sibling? I feel like if you're meeting
you gotta meet their Thanksgiving.
If you're meeting someone's family, I just think that you're hopefully more invested in the relationship than, no, I don't really like her. You can date her, bro.
Oh, now, wait a second. Wait a minute. This is so naive, though, because are you telling me that in the case of a husband and a wife, let's say you've got 5 brothers, a big family, you're at home for Thanksgiving, are you saying that you could not have a crush on your brother? Oh man, my brother really got lucky there. That's a good-looking lady. That's baloney if you are saying that didn't happen.
But you're not. Why would you actively pursue your brother's significant
other?
other?
I'm not saying you pursue her.
There are 7 billion people in the world.
But what if they break up?
Else.
What if they break up?
Find someone else. There's somebody else. There's other fish in the sea.
Yep, find somebody else.
Find somebody else. That's weird.
Excuse me, but listen, should she tell her husband?
Like I said, it matters what she wants to do.
I don't think it's that big a deal.
I mean,
it's not like he kissed her, he just ran his arm on her back. Maybe she had a fly on there.
Yeah, maybe she could just say it was kind of weird and it made her uncomfortable, and then the brother can decide what he wants, or like her husband can decide if he wants to bring it up to the brother, or if he's just like, gonna accept the information and
You know
go
what?
on.
People are way too uncomfortable nowadays. People make bigger deals out of things than they need to be. You bump into somebody or you say something off color to somebody and all of a sudden they're, oh my goodness gracious. I mean, people really make mountains out of molehills now. I don't really understand that.
I think I agree. Like a lot of, I
That's
agree.
egotism, I think, really. If you believe everybody's out to, like, fall in love with you, so you think everybody who brushes up against you is out to, like, want you, that is so egotistical. But that's the truth. That's the society we live in.
Yeah, I think people think that they play a bigger role in others' lives than what they do often.
Yeah, don't you think?
Very self-centered.
Oh, there are people who shop at Kroger who recognize me when I work in other departments, and they'll like, "Hi, how you doing?" Because I've just been at Kroger for a long time at this point, and I could not have told you I've ever seen that person in my life.
Right, it's familiarity. Familiarity. Now, this one I like. Now, this has nothing to do with affairs, so thank goodness we're getting on to an easier subject here. A woman is having a wedding, and she has a strict wedding dress code. And some of the people going to this wedding are upset because they really want to go because they like her, but they don't want to dress up. But she wants the pictures to look nice and wants everybody to be dressed a certain way. What do you think, Matt? Should you be able to enforce a strict wedding dress code?
I mean, I guess they paid for the wedding, so they can do what they want at their wedding.
Yeah, but would you not go if somebody said, listen, you got to wear black pants, white shirt, and a tie?
Weddings aren't really my thing anyway. I don't really like it. So
Let's say it's
Why
your
not-
brother, and you see his wife at the wedding. Oh, hey, there she is. We all know how it goes.
At the wedding?
You'll be in the Washington Post before you know it.
Okay, I actually have a friend who's getting married in October, and she has a dress code for her wedding. She
Oh,
wants
what's the dress code?
Everyone's supposed to wear black. All black is the...
Black?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a funeral or a wedding?
It's a wedding. It's a wedding, I promise.
See, that's how my wedding would be. It'd be all black.
Yeah, we're mourning.
Oh, man.
No,
Mourning your
no.
singlehood going away.
She's a very like aesthetic girl. It's for the picture purposes for sure. And she's actually had people messaging her asking to wear, one girl wanted to wear a white sweater or something, and she was like, that's not black. That's not even close to black.
See, that's
It's
how people
white."
are. This is a true story.
But I agree. I mean, they're paying for the wedding. It's her pictures. It's her day. If you don't care enough to go buy the outfit that she wants you to have, I guess you don't care about your relationship that much, and you probably shouldn't be coming to the wedding.
Are you going?
Yeah.
Black?
Yeah.
What are you wearing?
A black dress.
Black dress.
Yes.
Matt, if you had to go to this dark wedding, would you get some black clothes?
I suppose. I mean, it seems that I either wear that or I'm not going to the wedding.
So it's okay to have a wedding dress code then?
Yeah.
Yeah, like when people say don't bring your babies or your kids too. Like, I mean, it's
Ooh,
their wedding.
That gets very nasty.
I know, people get really intense about it. And I get it because, like, babysitters, and it's like, oh, my kids are different. They're going to be good. They're going to sit. But it's just like, some people just don't like it, and that's their opinion.
I'm with the people who don't want the kids at the wedding.
You're anti-kids at a wedding.
Well, I don't know. I just think...
Absolutely.
So I guess this run out... Now, you know what I thought going into this? That the kids... who ruined his white hoodie and holy jeans here, would be saying, wear a dress code. I knew that was going to get a reaction.
I knew that this was going to get brought up, and I was going to say
that's
something
fine.
about them being
No,
half
they're-
off,
no,
because I was
they're-
like, oh, haha, everyone says that.
No, they're fine for this little program, but this ain't a wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying the kids who dress casual are... Oh, no, you can make your own rules for a wedding. That's kind of shocking to me. And here I am in a collar, and I'm saying, wear what you want.
You didn't say we had to wear anything specific.
No, I don't think it... No, I'm just saying, I'm shocked that you both, who are casual, would say, I've never seen you in a dress. I've never seen you with a button-up shirt on.
I love to dress up.
Or a butt,
I
like
don't
a
wear
tie.
dresses here.
I was about to say, I wear button-ups.
Or institute a dress code.
We don't. We
There's
only
gotta be
see
a
each other
dress
at
code.
work and here. What do you mean?
Well, right, but I thought at some point you'd have a dress on somewhere.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll make an effort in the future.
No, I'm not
maybe.
saying wear a dress. I'm just saying, you think if you dress that way every so often, it's going to pop up in your
Yeah,
daily routine.
I think every time I come here, I'm just like going straight from work. I just don't have time to rest, and it's like I'm not going to do my whole.
So
day
you
in
are a
dress.
dressy person.
I like to dress up.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, there you go.
Yes, I
see
am.
this. We're learning.
Yes.
It's very nice to know.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, so in strict, I guess you can have a dress code.
Yeah.
Is what we learned there. Now, this is, I talked about this the other morning on the air because I found, it's a study, I'm not going to go into great detail about this study, but basically, good deeds that we do in life, do we do them because we really want to do a good deed, or do we do them so people will think we're nice and we're good people, and we want people to say, hey, that's a nice guy, that's a nice girl, she's great. What is really driving our good deeds? Are we really selfless in life? We're going to do a great conversation with the listeners the other morning about this on the air.
I think most good deeds are actually a little bit selfish. Have you ever seen the Friends episode that's related to this?
I don't think so. What's it about?
It's basically Phoebe in the show wants to do a selfless good deed, and they're like, there's no selfless good deeds. And so she decides, like, after trying a bunch of different things by the end of the show, that she's going to donate money to Sesame Street. And she hates Sesame Street because of something that happened in her past. And then she did that, and then it helped Joey somehow with, like, he got on TV, and so she was like, oh, I feel so good because I helped Joey. And then she was like, shoot, you know, this did it. And I was like, wow, you're right. Like, I mean, most good deeds do have a little bit of, like, self-interest, I think.
Matt?
I mean, I guess it really just depends on what you count as a good deed. Just like, I hold the door open for people when I leave, like, the gas station a lot. Does that, like...
No, that's not a good deed. A good deed would be doing something... Getting somebody a gift, mowing somebody's lawn, taking their flower pot and bringing it back with a flower in it, mulching somebody's yard.
Shampooing someone's rug.
Shampooing somebody's rug. Those are good deeds. Those are the kind I like.
Deeds.
But you know, I think if you don't tell the person, then it truly is a good deed because they don't even know it's you and they can't thank you and you're getting no credit at all.
Ooh, that's a good point.
So it's like anonymous donors versus...
Well, I think if you do it anonymously, you probably did it for the right reasons.
That's true. You're not getting any credit, no thanks for it. It's just because you care. That's a great point.
But I think most people don't do it for that reason. Most people do it because they want to thank you. Like I said the other day, and God bless people, but this is the God's honest truth. For 2 years, somebody brought me breakfast every Wednesday morning. And I never asked for it. And as a matter of fact, at some points I said, you don't have to do that. Don't worry about it. Breakfast every Wednesday, every Wednesday, every Wednesday, every Wednesday. Well, it stopped. And I kind of felt like I saw the real person because their whole personality changed.
After they start bringing you breakfast?
Oh, well, they stopped bringing me breakfast as their personality changed. Wow. So now I look back on that time, I thought that was a selfless act because I was saying stop doing this. But now that I look back on it, I think, well, maybe they were just doing that so I would like them.
That's possible. 2 years, that's a long commitment.
It went on for a long, long time.
That's crazy.
But I don't think, why does it stop? At the same time that they get a whole new personality.
Yeah, maybe their feelings toward you changed or something. Did you make
See,
them
what
upset?
does that mean? Somebody said that the other morning on the air. Their feelings towards you changed. I don't even... What did I do?
Maybe you did something you didn't even realize. Like you were talking about earlier, people tend to be so sensitive. And so it's like,
people are sensitive.
You bumped into somebody the wrong way and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize. Like, maybe.
But I don't think that's on me.
No, I'm not blaming you.
But doesn't that make the person a phony in a way? Because why are you bringing somebody breakfast every day, every week?
Maybe just to be nice.
Well, that's what I thought for 2 years. But when it stopped, I started to think, well, maybe that was just a little ploy.
What was the ploy, though? Like what?
To be my friend. Like you always say. You do things to try to win people over. Well, maybe it didn't work, and so that's why it stopped.
Yeah, I mean, 2 years is a long time, though. Like, that's crazy. I don't think I could commit to a good deed for 2 years. That's crazy.
It was a nice thing
That's
for 2
so
years.
nice.
I appreciated it.
That's so nice.
But it did come to an end, and now that I think about it, it's over. Well, guess what? What's not over is this episode. We're only halfway done. We're coming back with Kerrington and Matt, and I'm going to do a good deed after this short but important timeout. Don't go anywhere. Hey, Scott Spears back with you on The Exchange. Matt Morgan, Kerrington Nelson. You can catch them both every Friday night. Friday Night Live, WGH Talk, 8:15 to 10 p.m. Catch Matt every Friday morning from 10:15 to 11 a.m. and 12:15 to 1 on this station. And every week you get an episode of The Exchange Club on television. Go to YouTube, search The Exchange, Scott Spears, and you will find all the episodes. And we'll have another panelist here with us next week. And we'll also be doing an episode from the Little Brown Jug, Matt. You're excited. You're going to learn all about horse racing.
I'm going to learn all about horse racing.
The biggest purse in the history of the Little Brown Jug this year, $1 million.
It'll be exciting.
It's going to be exciting. We're going to enjoy ourselves at the Little Brown Jug. Now, maybe we'll bring back some video and put it on this show. Yeah. We'll insert it in. So did we figure out that the topic before the break was, do people do good deeds for phony reasons or to be nice people? I think 90% of the people are phony. Now, if you don't tell people that you're doing the deed, then I think it's a very nice deed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's still a nice deed either way, so maybe you just don't look at the intent too much and you just are like, nice, that was good. To move on.
But is it, again, for a purpose? See, the problem is when you do it with a purpose.
It becomes less good.
Yeah, I think that's no longer a good deed.
Yeah.
That's just kind of self-will. That's more for them than you.
I feel like most of the time it's probably just to make them feel good.
Because you think, really? Make them feel good or make the person there?
No, make them feel good,
Well,
like themselves. Like you do something and you're like, yay, I'm a nice person.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people do things for the thanks.
Well, that's wrong.
I agree.
Yeah, but here's the problem, is that it's like when you give a Christmas gift and somebody are you getting me a Christmas gift this year because I got to give you one? Well, no, I'm giving you one because I want to give you one, and I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to give you one, and I don't want one back. I'm getting it because I want to. But people feel obligated.
I get it, but it's just a lot of pressure. Like I would rather somebody tell me they're going to get me something, because if you show up empty-handed, you just feel like a bad person.
But see, that's wrong, because if I want to get you a gift, it's not predicated on you getting me a gift. And if I get you a gift and you've asked, Scott, are you going to get me a gift? And I say yes, and then you get me a gift, then I just think you're getting that gift because you knew I was getting you a gift.
Yeah, that's true. I think the whole gift-giving thing really stresses me out. I'm not going to lie.
I just give it. If I want to give somebody a gift, I give it to them. I don't let them know. That's it.
I mean, I agree. Like, if you want to, I do the same thing, but like, I feel bad because I feel like sometimes people feel uncomfortable whenever you give them a gift and they have nothing to give back to you. Like, at least the people I'm like friends with,
Why?
I don't know. I think it's
They
just
got you a
something
gift,
like
maybe?
in our culture, society. I don't know. There's a lot of pressure though, I feel.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean,
sorry.
me personally, I dislike receiving a gift if I don't have something to give back. It just feels strange to me. I don't like taking things. You're just gonna give me, like, my mom and dad are about the only people that it feels normal to take Christmas gifts from.
Nelson, I got you a gift a couple weeks ago. Remember, on Friday night, I grabbed you a strawberry Frosty.
I mean, yeah.
That was a gift. Apparently
I
not.
forgot about the strawberry Frosty.
Excuse me. But no, it wasn't a big gift, but I thought about you. You didn't ask for it. And I knew I was coming here and you were going to be here that night, so I grabbed you one.
But I feel like in that case scenario, I feel like you want to be like, oh, do you want money for it? And then if they don't, it's like, oh, okay, you can just move on.
I didn't want any money for it.
Sean brought our drinks the other day, and I felt bad. I was like, I should have asked to give him money for it.
Why?
I just forgot. Because you just feel like you have to. You can't expect people to do something nice for you. You just have to expect that they.
Do you think everything's got a motive?
Maybe.
No, everything doesn't have a
I feel like
motive.
most things have a
Everything's
They
motive.
calculated.
don't. Most things do not have motive.
Most things have motives.
Well, that's not true.
I think they do.
I think most...
You just talked about this, though. You said 90%.
I think 90% of gift giving and doing nice things for people is self-will, but I don't know that everything's got a motive behind it.
I think it all has motives. It doesn't have to be necessarily bad motives. It just everything it has a motive.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't think it would be happening really.
Yeah, they had to think about what they.
So
wanted
everything
to do.
in life is skeptical to you. Every good deed that happens.
I don't
you think,
trust anyone. Yeah, I'm on.
I mean,
I'm on edge.
somebody could be doing it for a good reason, but they still have intent.
Yeah, but see, I guess from a teacher's perspective and a broadcaster's perspective, in these positions, you pick and choose who's going to be on the air, who's going to do certain things at school. You're not doing that to further yourself because you could just as easily pick somebody else. So I don't think there's a motive for yourself behind that. I think you're picking the best person to do the job, and it does end up helping them out, but you're not doing it for yourself.
I mean,
You are a little bit, though.
If you're picking the best person to do the job, it's because you know that they have the least amount of chance to fail. Therefore, you chose them with the motive of they're going to do the best.
Right, and you don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want to feel awkward.
I know I can trust them to do it.
Oh, that's not true, though, because a lot of people are very eccentric. So they don't necessarily do the best job, and when you bring them on, a lot of times they don't do the best job, but you still give them a break.
Yeah, but that was their trial run, and then you found out that they weren't good, and you were like, thanks for coming.
Yeah, but you know what?
See ya around.
Yeah, but there's always somebody that you can be replaced with. And it's true. Let's be honest. There's always somebody standing in the wing that you can be replaced with. So why not, if it's self-will, why not just dump that person and say, next, Come on in.
Even though you can replace them with someone, it's difficult to find something that's quality.
Look at this empty chair. This is proof
chair.
that you can replace people. This is a revolving chair.
Yeah, but like you're looking for someone that could be consistent and good, though, in a sense. Like,
Yeah, but it doesn't
me
necessarily.
coming here-
It's not necessarily the person who I get along with the best. It's not necessarily the person who is best for my life. It's the person who translates the best for the audience. So it's self-will for the audience. It's not self-will for me.
It's motivating.
Sometimes it's more difficult for me dealing with people. I mean, why is this person here? They're giving me a hard time every week. I'm losing sleep over this person.
You lose sleep over us?
No, I don't know about you two. I'm just saying the people you put on, and I'm not going to say the name because I have to keep it for my book. But there is somebody who is very difficult to deal with, extremely difficult to deal with, and I put them on constantly because you can get a good show out of them for the audience.
Oh.
But I put up with it because that's interviews. The other night I interviewed somebody who got the audience felt a little nasty with me. But I went because that's for the audience. You two, for an example. I mean, it's not for me that you are here. You're here because the audience likes you guys. You're doing well with the audience. You're coming across. It doesn't do anything for my career.
I'm not saying that it's a selfish motive. There's a motive behind it. You're motivated to make the best content for the viewers.
Yeah, and I
It's
feel
right.
like we're helping in a sense
doesn't
because
help
we're
me.
like responding. We're not just sitting here like, yeah.
No, but I'm saying that somebody else could do that, I'm sure. Eventually.
That's true. I'm just
saying I don't think everything has a motive. I didn't mean to bring it to this. But I'm just saying, people come and go. That's life.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, I don't get upset when somebody leaves. And I've had people here for long periods of time, and we've had parting of the ways. But, that's showbiz.
That's showbiz.
Just how it happens.
You can't take it personally.
Let it roll off your back.
But you know what? People do take it personally, and that's I've never taken anything personally in a broadcasting sense because it's broadcasting, and you can stay friends with the person if you want to, but they're not always the best fit for the audience. And see, that's another case. I like them. I think they're great. I think, man, I would hang around with them and get pizza every night of the week. But boy, the audience just doesn't like them. Sometimes you lose favor with the audience, and that's very hard.
Interesting. I did not know that. Is there a lot of audience feedback? Like people
Well, yeah,
say
I mean, you know what's funny? I didn't mean to get off on this subject, but this is a little inside for the people here. The other day, somebody came up to me at the grocery store in the line and said they wanted to watch this show in particular, the one that the three of us do together, and they mentioned you by name.
Wow.
And knew that you worked in the pharmacy.
That's crazy.
So,
What?
and you know why? Because of the promotion.
Oh, okay.
So, the pictures and the push. Now, I did not make that person like you or know who you were or pay attention. That person did that.
That's true.
And you did that. Mm-hmm. That is nothing. That doesn't help me in any way.
That's true.
They knew who I was. They would know who I was if you weren't here. Mm-hmm. So I don't think there is a motive.
I don't know. I just think that
But you do lose favor with you. Like, there have been people who they've come and go, I really cannot stand that person. Oh, don't tell me that.
Oh no. Now I want to know if anybody ever says that.
No, it's happened. Sean, has it happened? Many times.
Oh,
And they've had to go. Then I have to come
Kick
on.
them out?
I do it politely, but then I have to come on and give the speech and
The speech. The rundown.
yeah, we appreciate everything they've done for us. I will always have great affection for them, but they will not be back.
It's the pet that died. No, they're at the farm down the road. Had to get rid of them.
The main goal is you're having fun. If you're having fun, the audience is going to have fun. If you're uptight, the audience is going to be uptight. But that's not self-will. The whole. What's interesting with both of you, oddly enough, speaking of good deeds, I might have made the final decision to put you on the air, but that was in consultation with other people here at the station. And also, even though I like you both as people, you wouldn't be here if I thought you stunk. Clearly.
That's true.
And also, both were by mistake. I mean, you just said, I want to do it, and our person fell through on election night, and you showed up, and you did a great job. You just happened to be walking around at the fair, and we needed a guest, and you came over, and were great. But neither one of those things were planned at all.
Right. But I mean, getting invited back was planned, I guess.
Yeah, well, that because you did good, but you didn't know that was an audition, and neither did we. You didn't know that was an audition, and neither did we. Just worked out well.
That's true.
Now, when you turn unfavorable, I'll let you know. But not all good deeds are self-will.
Full circle moment. Bring
circle.
it back.
I don't know how long it took me to describe that, but it took a minute. But the dinners, the breakfast I got every Wednesday, self-will, because they stopped.
So it's like once you start doing a good deed, you can never stop again, though?
Till the casket drops.
Okay, whatever you say.
No, I just think when your whole personality changes at the same time, then I wonder.
Yeah, something for sure happened with them.
Sometimes I feel bad because I do nice things. Like, I guess not really nice things. Just like holding the door open for people. Usually I hold the door open when I leave for people, and then when I don't for the person, and I walk, I'm like, man, I should have held the door open for that person. I usually do for everybody else.
You know, one of my biggest pet peeves, this just reminded me of this, is whenever people go on mission trips and they're like, so like, oh my gosh, this was great, this was transformative, and like, it's like, wouldn't those kids have benefited more, the people in this third world country, if you just gave them the money it took for you to fly there? You know? It's like doing a mission trip is supposed to be a good deed, but it's like, is that really the greatest good? I think they're kind of selfish. That's a hot take. I'm sorry. I think it's just a little selfish.
So you think people who go on mission trips are selfish?
I'm not saying like entirely, because I get that they're
Selfish
doing
acts.
nice things, but like it's like if they were really worried about helping the people
And you
in
always
that
take the
third world
pictures.
country, yes,
Yeah, there's
the
always the
pictures with
pictures.
some little kid, and you're like, they don't even have food, and you got your iPhone out or something. It's like something about it just really turns me off. I don't like it.
Well, you know the thing about that is, to be honest with you, I'm very clear of why we take pictures. It's publicity.
Mm-hmm.
It's clearly. But look at the good deed I'm doing.
Right. It's very in your face. Like, you can't just go on a mission trip and do a good deed. It's like you got to take the pictures, and it's like, really, at the end of the day, when you think about it, they would benefit more if you probably just gave them money.
Send them the plane ticket.
Send them the money that you would spend on your plane ticket.
Speaking oddly enough about something like this, do you hold a grudge? A new study has found that most Americans can't let things go. Even though they say they do, they hold the grudge.
I don't think I do. I really get over things like pretty easily, I feel. Like, I'll ruminate on things and like be upset, but like if that person were to come back and apologize, I'm like, water under the bridge.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's
You forgive everything.
Yeah, I really forgive everything. I'm
I
kind of
don't
a
even like
pushover.
apologies. Apologies just kind of awkward, because if you did something to like annoy, like I don't know, I guess just if you did something.
You never
that,
apologize?
No, vice versa. I don't like it when people apologize to me. Because if you did something to me to upset
Oh,
me,
don't worry.
it's just
Don't wait
awkward
on
for you
it.
to come up and be like, hey, you remember when I did this to you? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like, okay.
See, I love to apologize. Like, if I think I upset someone, I want to let them know and tell them that I am sorry and remorseful for my act.
So do you feel that you do a lot of things wrong in life?
Yeah.
Really?
But, like, I mean, I think it's just because I'm a little, like, insecure and, like, I feel like I'm looking for approval from others.
I apologize for
On a
everyone.
deeper level, if you want to get deep right now.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think I
So
do.
you're willing to admit that you're insecure. Most people wouldn't admit that.
Yeah, I'm pretty self-aware, I think.
So you're like somebody who's easy to make cry. Wouldn't take much.
It depends on the person, I guess. If I, like, value and, like,
Let's
respect
give it a
their-
try, man. Let's see how
Yeah,
much it
let's
takes.
see. No, what I'm saying, like, an angry customer at work comes up and they're yelling at me, it's like, I don't really care. I think it's a little funny, honestly, which is bad, but I
Yes,
do.
no.
But it's like if one of my friends were to randomly cut me off and say they didn't like me anymore, yeah, that would rock me to my core.
You know what's interesting? Something happened, and this is just a little behind the scenes for you. When Kerrington came in tonight, it wasn't an apology, I don't know, but you said you felt that I was not, that you had ticked me off last week.
Yeah, I was worried, and so
And that
I wanted to make sure that, like, there was
But
no
see,
misunderstanding.
I had no idea. I'm sorry I let you ruminate on this for a week.
No, it's okay. I wasn't, like, a lot on my mind, but, you know, I wanted to bring it up next time I saw you so I could get some reassurance to know that you either were or were not upset.
It wasn't a lot on my mind, but I wanted to make sure.
But it was, yeah, I thought about it a couple of times.
Well, no, that just shows that you're an inward-thinking person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you would never care about that, would you? You know, say, well, was Scott mad at me? No, you wouldn't care.
I mean, I know.
No, see, there you go, there's a difference.
No, it's like, I mean, like, I didn't think you'd be angry at me for, like, a long time or anything, but it's just, like, if there was any type of misunderstanding, I just like to talk about things and, like, clear everything up in any case scenario.
I don't think I've ever been angry at anybody. I mean, really, anger. I mean, I don't think I do hold a grudge, which comes back to our category here. It would be hard for me. I mean, I'm indifferent to certain people. I'm not saying I love everybody. I'm not Pollyanna. But carrying a grudge, it takes a lot for me to be angry at somebody. Now, I'm honest. I try to be honest with people. But grudge, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. It's
Honesty is
kind of
always good.
draining. If you're like really angry about something, you know, it's like, come on, just move on. Like, it's really like wasting your time and energy.
Now, this is something interesting. Barbara Walters, who we've talked a lot about on this show, legendary journalist, there's going to be a book written about Barbara Walters, apparently the definitive biography. I'm not sure if it's coming out late this year or early next year. She died in December. But she has recently, her headstone was put up. And her last words were revealed. She died New Year's Eve of 2022 at age 93. And here are her last words, which are revealed in the book for the first time. It was leaked from the book this week. And also, it's what's on her headstone. This is why they know it's her last words. It's her epitaph. Her headstone reads, Barbara Walters, "No regrets, I had a great life." And I thought, what? Your last words? Those are your last words. And now they're etched on her tombstone in Lakeside Memorial Park in Miami, Florida. I think that's interesting. So we talked about regrets on another show, but when you're gone 100 years from now, what do you want etched on your tombstone? What would you hope your last words could be if you were lucid enough to know what you're saying?
I think I'd probably just try to give advice to somebody.
Advice on your way out?
Why
You're
not?
dying.
Say, but they're not.
So what are you going to say? Wear a tie.
I mean, no. More like
Hair a little shorter.
the first time I was ever on here, you asked me a rule I live by or something like that, and I said try your hardest at whatever you do because otherwise, why are you trying at all? That's I feel like that's a good piece of advice to give somebody before I pass away.
Okay. But does it say anything about your life? Because your life is what's ending.
See,
Theirs
that's
is
the thing.
going
I don't really, but like, it sounds a little rough, but I think personally my life is very boring. I've had a very average life. I'm more interested in other
It's not
people.
over.
Are you okay?
You're not even
only
a quarter of the way
19.
in.
Yeah, but
Didn't
like,
it get
He's a
better?
washed up 19-year-old.
like I have just like it's my life is very is like I just feel like it's very like everybody else's life. The majority of people live roughly the same childhood that I've lived.
Yeah, but what about now? I mean, you're just into adulthood.
I work at a Kroger.
Yeah, but you've done some, just in the last couple months, you've done some things that most people probably don't do. And never will.
You're on a radio talk show right
You're
now.
on a radio talk show, you've met people, you've gotten to be around for unique circumstances. That's not normal.
Up until this point in time, it was pretty normal.
I came into your
And
life,
I don't
It's
even
not
know,
changed at all.
like,
self-will.
what do I want to put on my tombstone to say? What do I need to write about myself on my epitaph for?
Because people walk in cemeteries and you want them to be able to read something.
What
I'm big on that.
What if I just didn't have a tombstone? What if I just wasn't in the cemetery?
But Barbara Walters does have a tombstone, and that's how we got
She is
into
in the
this.
cemetery.
And she is in a cemetery, and these were her last words. And I think that's a great... If you can go out at 93 and your last words are, "No regrets, I had a great life," hey.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing to put on your tombstone. I agree with what Matt said, though, about, like, some sort of advice, you know, if you're walking through the cemetery and, I don't know, if you are, like, get married at this age if you're really passionate or something.
See,
you know, I don't know.
like,
That's a
Most
silly
people's
example.
epitaphs will
But
say, like, beloved husband.
Oh, no, I don't
son,
want that.
Brother. But, like, I mean, that's something about yourself. That's boring. But if I gave you a piece, like, if I wrote on my tombstone, do your best at whatever you did because otherwise, why are you doing it at all? And then somebody would see that, and that might stick to them. And if that sticks with them, they're going to remember that they saw that on my tombstone.
Yeah, but I don't... your tombstone is yours, and it's supposed to speak to you.
I'm dead. It can't. Why is it speaking to me?
Because people want to know about you. They don't know who you are.
What if I didn't want people to know who I am? Does it matter?
No, but the point is, that's what the tombstone is. People don't go to other people's funerals to know about themselves. Your obituary is not about somebody else. It's about you.
Okay.
Last words, Kerrington. What do you want them to be?
I think that was great, you know, no regrets. It is what it is. Like, I hope I feel very at peace with everything. I don't think I have really regrets right now, so just...
See, I think you should take something from your life and embellish it a little bit. Like I thought, you know, because I'm a little indecisive on certain things, and I think, you know, on the other hand, I should have lived. I think that's interesting.
That's a good piece of advice, kind of.
Yeah, and stayed alive.
What?
Yeah, I mean, literally. On the other hand, and that's a good place where you could. I should put that on my tombstone.
Literally?
Literally, I'm dead.
Literally passed away.
I'm literally dead. I won't be back after this break. I like that.
Oh, because
Yeah.
you want to joke on your tombstone.
Yeah.
That's good.
Keep
That's
the
good.
line moving.
I just don't think I've thought about it this much. I'll try to think about it over the week and see if I can come up with something that's...
You had your chance, now I'm gone. That sort of thing.
Oh.
If you're walking through a cemetery and you see that, you're going to laugh. And if you can bring humor to somebody's life, even at that point, I think that's nice.
Yeah, I don't really want to laugh in the cemetery. I don't want to go there at all, though. So...
Well, I mean, you're going to go. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But I think if you can go, last words, I think that was so fascinating to me. No regrets, I had a great life. Because in her life, she had lived a tough life in a way. She was married and divorced, I think 3 different times. She considered herself a failure in that. She had a mentally handicapped sister who she had to take care of, who she said she did not always love because the attention was on the sister. Her father tried to commit suicide. She had to take care of him. She had a rough life in a lot of ways, and she wrote about it. So at the end, that she could say that, I think that's fascinating.
Yeah, it's moving. I mean, it's hard to think about your life if something didn't happen, or because you don't know what the outcome would have been and how things would have been impacted. So I guess if she's able to pass away at 93 and feel good about everything, good for her.
But I don't really think the age is important. I think if you have got it done at 50, it's okay. I don't think the age is important. I think you can live to be 100 and do nothing. And I think that people get wrapped up in the age sometimes. They go, well, they lived a good long life. Well, was it a good long life or was it just a long life? I don't know that it was all that good. But I feel if you got done what you needed to get done, then it's great. You are more at peace with yourself. If you really feel you've had a great life, and a great life is not spending time with your friends all the time. It's not, being around a lot of guys or girls.
Wait, how are you defining what a great life is right now?
No, I'm just saying.
That seems subjective.
But that is subjective because it's very commonplace. I mean, everybody's got friends for the most part. Everybody's got family for the most part. It's like when people say, what do you want to be remembered? Oh, loving mother, loving father. That is true. But that is also very commonplace, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to have a baby. But it does take some fortitude to live the life that Barbara Walters lived. It takes some fortitude to live the life that Taylor Swift did. It takes fortitude in that. And when you do that, I'm not saying it makes you more important, and I'm not saying you shouldn't have kids, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be married, but to live an abnormal life where you really had to achieve things, that it was through hard work and nose to the grindstone, yeah, I think you can be proud of that. I think you can be much more, it seems to me like mother and father and friends and kids, you just want more. You want more of that life. Accomplishments, you can kind of say, hey, I did that already.
I think that a healthy life, has a balance of both things. I feel like it's really just about being happy at the end of the day. And I've said before that I feel like happiness is a choice. So, if you like where you're at and you want to be a stay-at-home mom and that's just how you want your life to be and you're happy with it, great. She had a great long life and that's what she wanted. So it's really just about what you want, I think.
Yeah, I think if you're happy living your life how you want to live your life, then go for it.
I'm not saying that everybody should choose to do an abnormal thing, because if everybody did, then it wouldn't be abnormal. I'm just saying that when we talked about how much money you make in life. Now, most people want to say they want to make as much money as possible. Most people will choose the career they choose because of the money. But in the end, when you're going to die 2 ways. And this comes back to the epitaph. You're either going to die quickly and you're not going to know it's coming, or you're going to get sick and you're going to end up in a nursing home or being taken care of. And in those moments when you're in the nursing home or you're being taken care of, you do ruminate back on your life. And you don't ruminate on how much money you made. If you did a job that you hated, but you made $1 bazillion, the $1 bazillion is gone. It no longer matters. All you remember is the time you spent at that job and the things you didn't get done. Nobody looks back on the stuff that they didn't get done. They look back on the things that they did get done. And if you didn't make 50 cents, but you did something amazing, and you're sitting in the nursing home remembering that, that's what you want. The money doesn't matter in the end. Nobody puts that on their tombstone.
The money doesn't matter in the end?
Well, yeah, nobody puts, I made $5.2 billion. Here lies the man who made $5.2 billion. Isn't going to help you much now.
I agree. I mean, I feel like even at 22, I'm not super concerned about like having the most high paying job. I didn't really pick a college major based off of I want to make X amount of dollars. It was like, hopefully I find something that makes me happy. That's really what I care about at the end of the day.
The guy who calls the little brown jug, and this is a good story, Roger Houston, had him on the show this morning. He's 80, will turn 81 in 2 days. He's still calling the little brown jug. He's done it for 55 years. This will be his 55th year.
Wow.
He's known as the voice. I have him on every year before the little brown jug, and this morning and during a live interview, exclusive, I said, Roger, what advice would you give to somebody who wanted to do what you did? Worked for 55 years, the biggest horse race in the country. What makes a good harness race caller? You have to love it. I don't do this money for job. I do it for love. That's why I'm still here at 81
You don't do this money for a job.
I don't do this job for money.
Sorry, I couldn't let it
Now,
slide.
who's going to be sitting in this chair next week? Who do you
Yeah.
think?
Who are they going to replace
Who's
me
gonna be
with?
sitting here?
Because it's not going to be me.
Woo. Okay, but that's the point. That was such a touching story you came in and just stopped on.
I'm sorry. It was a great story. The paper again. We're back to this. Okay, no, you're right. I think that he makes an excellent point. Like, you should do things that you like.
No, but the point was that this man doing a good job in his profession for him is based upon love of the job.
Yeah.
Not practice, not skills, love of what he does. That's why he's able to last that long.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, he wants to be there every day. Like, I don't think everybody would like to come sit on here and talk, but like, I love it.
No, and get hit with papers.
You get papers.
See, I
you
thought I was
know?
going to hit her with a bat.
was
I
scared.
have a piece of paper. See, I
Paper
thought I was going to
cuts.
hit her with a
Paper
bat.
cuts. I don't
You
want
thought I
a
was going to put a
cut.
paper cut with this thing?
Yes,
You're
yes.
nervous now.
I know, I am. Stop swinging that around.
Golly, I'm going to have to get some kind
I'm
of
jumpy. I don't like fast movements, guys. I'm not kidding.
fast move. Okay, we're down
Stresses
to...
me out.
I'm sorry, I didn't know. So, what do you think? Epitaph. If you had to do it and you're forced to, what are you going to put on there?
Like I said, probably just a piece of advice.
Which is?
Try your best at whatever you do in life. Otherwise, there's no point to try at all.
Do whatever makes you happy.
Okay, there you go. That's very interesting. We've had a fun time here on the exchanges, but that blew by again.
Yeah,
That's an hour.
I did. That's crazy.
Just like this, and somebody will be sitting here again next week. And because it's fall, when this is over, we're going to try some caramel apples here. Won't that be fun?
Yay! I'm excited.
You like the caramel apples?
Yes.
So we're going to try that. Look for that on Facebook, the caramel apple trying. Anything for publicity. And check us out on Friday night, 8:15 to 10 p.m. here on WGH Talk. For Matt Morgan, Kerrington Nelson, I'm Scott Spears, heading for the dugout.